Hey guys, what's up? It's Uncast, the Demonology Warlock from Kazakh EU, and today I'm going to be showing you a little bit about my spec, how to play at the rotations, the gear you need, etc. So enjoy. Alright guys, and to start things off, I'm going to start with Intellect. Intellect is a key stat that you need. Every caster needs Intellect as their first priority because it obviously increases how much damage you do. And second of all is Hit Chance. Hit Chance needs to be 17% or over. I'll try and make it as close to 17 as possible. Right now, I think you can see on the screen, mine is 16.98. And I have 0.02% chance to miss. That 0.02% chance could be my Soulburn to Soulfire proc for 60k or my Instant Shadow Ball for 70k, who knows. Okay, next of all is Mastery. Mastery determines how much damage you do with your minion and how much damage you do while in Metamorphosis. So obviously, your minion as Demonology spec is the most important part of your damage. As you can see on any of my DPS lists, like right now, I can show you I believe. No, Krelum's, well that's my pet's name, Shadow Bite. So that's the main thing. He crits up to 80k's and that's without any buffs. Okay, and after Mastery becomes Haste. Haste just determines how many dot ticks you get while in a fight. More dot ticks equal more damage, so Haste is definitely good. After Haste is Crit. Crit just makes your offensive spells hit higher or make a crit strike, which obviously is good for your damage. Okay guys, and now I'm going to go over the gems, enchants and the gear you need to become an amazing Demonology Warlock like myself. Okay, first of all you need 40 plus intellect or plus 50 or plus 67 depending on profession and how much money you have laying around. Right now I'm poor so I only have plus 40, but plus 50s can be obtained through either Dragon Soul or they can be obtained through the auction house, as I imagine most people sell them, because they are high value, at least on my server. And plus 67s can be obtained through jewel crafting. Okay, and that's your first gem that you will need in the priority. Second of all, are Artful Lava Corals or Artful Ember Topazes. They give plus 25 or plus 20 intellect, or plus 25 mastery or plus 20 mastery, depending on the gem. And that obviously is good because it increases your mastery, which is your main stat as a Demonology Warlock after intellect and hit. And as for your gear, you're going to want the Forset bonus straight away. As you can probably see, the Forset bonus grants you Soulburn, or your Soulburn grants you a 10% increase to your spell power. And as you can see, my intellect right now is 6.4k, but if I was to buff myself up in a raid, I could at least hit 12k. So activating Soulfire, or Soulburn should I say, would activate me 1.2k intellect, which that can be at least another 10% of my DPS added. So the Forset bonus is great. Also, for gear, try to get gear with Mastery and Haste. Obviously, they are your main combat stats, so you'll need them as much as possible. Alright, and before we jump into the Demonology talents, I want to talk about Destruction, the out of true talent after you finish the whole of the Demonology list. We have Improved Immolate. This is a must-have. Increases the damage done by your Immolate by 20%. That is perfect and exactly what you need. Next, these three others here, they're all more or less haste. And this one here, Shadow and Flame, gives you the Shadow and Flame effect, increasing all damage done by the boss. I think it's by 5%. I think it's only spell damage as well, so keep that in mind. These two here, Ember Storm and Bane, they're just haste talents that give you a shorter time on your cast for Shadow Bolt, Incinerate, etc. Next we have Metamorphosis. As you all know, is probably the most used cooldown for Warlocks, or Demonology Warlocks at least, in every single raid and or party or dungeon, whatever you're in. It also can be used for PvP as a good burst, I'd imagine. Alright, and now about Metamorphosis. You turn into a demon, looking like this. Excuse the power aura there. And all it does, it increases your damage by whatever your mastery is. At the moment, my mastery is more or less 20%. So that's 65% it would be if I hit 20% mastery exactly. So keep that in mind and work it out for yourselves. I'm not exactly the smartest guy ever. Next we have Demonic Pact. This is a raid buff, increases the whole raid spell power by 10% and increases your spell damage by 2%. Next we have Decimation. This is basically a Soulfire with a reduced cast time of 40% and the boss has to be below 25% health. And Soulfire hard casting, right now for me I'm at 16 or 17% haste, and it's a 2.56 second cast, and that's going to be a long time just to cast it. So once boss hits below 25%, I suggest you make a power aura. I'll tell you about add-ons later. And power auras will show you, like, see these blue things around my head here? They will go red, and that would indicate for me that the boss is below 25%, and I can start using Soulfire, which will be 40% reduced. So 40 take away 2.56 seconds. Work out for yourselves. Next we have Hand of Gul'dan. It does a high amount of damage. It can root them for any PvPers out there with this spell, Aura of the Foreboding, but we're not going to get into that. It does a high amount of damage, refreshes your Immolate, which is perfect, so you only need to cast this, it does damage, refreshes it, and then you hit Corruption to refresh your dots. And obviously Bane of Doom, but that's a 2-minute cooldown, not 2-minute cooldown, it lasts for 2 minutes, so you won't really need to refresh that much. Next we have Molten Core. They have 6% to trigger it. It's free incinerates with 18% more damage, and the cast time reduced on them is a further 30%. Next we have Impending Doom. Your offensive spells, or Shadow Bolt, Hand of Gul'dan, Soulfire, and Incinerate spells have a 15% chance to reduce the cooldown of your demon form by 15%. And as I just said before, I have 20% mastery, so that would be an extra 15 seconds I have of 65% more damage increase, which is perfect. Another thing that this does, it has a 30% chance to summon a demon. It's like a little black destruction imp that just kicks away or headbutts the boss, whatever it is. And the rest of these I'll leave in the description of my armory link so you can read about them yourselves. It's too much detail. Basically most of them at the top, or the bottom of the tree should I say, these ones here, they're all for your minion. So there you go. I'll leave it in the description, be sure to check. Right, and now I'm going to show you how you open up during a raid. First of all, you want to do is Curse of Elements, Bane of Doom, Hand of Gul'dan, and straight into an Immolate, into a Corruption, into a Soulburn, Soulfire with the 4-set bonus, Shadow Bolt spam whenever needed. Also, always use Shadow Flame, and the way you reapply your dots is Hand of Gul'dan into a Corruption, and if Bane of Doom needs refreshing, use that as well. You could always open up with Metamorphosis and Immolation Aura. Metamorphosis is a good way to use it, use it with a macro and put Demo Soul in there as well. So as you can see, I just refreshed the dots, used Shadow Flame on the boss, run over to the Acidic Globule and reapply my dots on him as well. You can also multi-dot, but the way multi-dotting works, you can only multi-dot with Immolate and Corruption. You can't do it with Bane of Doom. I'm not sure if it's the same for every spec or just Demonology, but there you go. Shadow Flame of cooldown. You can see my power aura showing me what's needed and what I can cast now. Shadow Bolt spamming a little. Reapplying my dots, and this is where the DPS comes from as Demonology, truly. It is the AoE. First of all, I opened up with, or just then for the AoE, you open up with Metamorphosis, Immolation Aura, and Hellfire. You could also use the Felguard's Fellstorm, but I never had that binded, or I never had that Soul Burn off cooldown, so I didn't really want to hard cast it. So there you go, enjoy. Hey guys, if you made it this far, then well, you deserve a cookie. Anyway, I hope you liked it, and if you do not like it, be sure to leave me a comment on why, dislike the video, feel free. I'm not restricting you from anything, but if you do like it, who knows. Anyway, leave me some feedback, see ya.